Learning how to write effective email copy is one of the most important skills when it comes to running any service-based business, let alone marketing agencies. This is kind of the bedrock on how you actually sign clients, get people interested in the thing that you actually have to sell first so that you can ultimately go on and sell to them. As a marketing agency owner, I receive hundreds and hundreds of cold emails every single month. Many of them are nowhere near good enough to actually convince at least a small minority of those people to actually go and respond and to give them money to buy their services. And I'm going to break down some of these today. I'm going to give you 8 points on how to write the best email copy so that you can go and sign more clients. So if you're not familiar with who I am, my name is Ben Lister. I help agency owners to save thousands and thousands of hours by sometimes even doing their outreach for them so they can start to work on the agency rather than working in the agency. So I'm going to jump into the computer and I'm going to run you through the 8 steps that I have. Okay, so the first point that I want to talk about is the subject line. Now, you need to personalize your subject line and you need to create interest. I'm going to show you a few emails in just a second, and there's a lot of emails in there that don't even have my name or my business name in there, and some that just don't make sense outright. They create no interest at all. They tell me exactly what they're talking about in the subject, which for a normal email, if you're not trying to sell to someone, that would make sense because you want them to see what you're talking about. But in this instance, the goal of the subject line is to just get people to click on the email. That's it. Because once they actually start to read the email and they go through the actual main copy, they're going to forget what the subject line says and they're going to know what you're talking about in your email, specifically based on the copy, not the subject. And then the next point is to talk about the prospect, not about you. So I see this so many times where line after line after line is, we can do this, we can do that, we've also done this, we've also done that. But none of the text is actually about the person that they're writing the email to. It's not about me, for example. It's about what they want to do all the time, what they have done in the past. And this is never going to work if you actually angle your copy in this way, simply because people don't really care about other people. And to put it in the nicest way possible, at some level, there's a very, very famous saying in the book, How to Win Friends and Influence People. People care more about the boil on their face than they do than the famine that's in another country, where people are very, very self-centered deep down on some level. And so if you are constantly talking about yourself and not about you, they're not going to be interested, because the number one thing that interests people is themselves. And so if you talk about them, I like what you did here, I like what you did there, I'm really interested in this, tell me more about this, they're going to be much more likely to go ahead and read most of the email and actually, respond to you and interact with you if you're doing that. So just please don't actually go and refer to yourself all the way through. And obviously you can do it at some points because you obviously have to explain what you do, but the vast majority of the email needs to be about the prospect. And then point number 3 is you want some kind of what I call heavy personalization. So personalization, where you use the first name, you use the business name, maybe you write a one-liner, what's called an icebreaker, where you basically say, I like that you've done this, and it's very specific and it takes a little bit of time to research that, but I like something that is really heavily personalized. So we often send, for example, videos, we often send, for example, audio recordings, we often send, for example, maybe we give some part of the service away for free in the initial first email just to show what we can do, and each of those is actually personalized, and there's ways to do this at scale. But if your emails don't contain some form of heavy personalization, then you're missing out, because a lot of emails now are actually able to do this. Whether this is mass produced and it's not actually personalized but it just looks like it is, it's another thing. But you do need some kind of personalization in there. The next point is you want to make them a no-brainer offer. This kind of goes separate away from email copy and more towards actual marketing itself. But if you do not have an offer that just makes 100% sense to virtually everyone that reads the email, you will not be getting responses and not be getting calls from these emails. And so even if the offer makes complete perfect sense, if you just say to someone, look, we will work for free for 6 months, and if the service isn't any good, then you're not going to pay us a thing. If it is, then we'll work on a commission basis, so there's literally zero chance of you losing. Even if you had a perfect offer, like the absolute best offer in the world, it took no time, it took no effort from the prospect, whatever it took, and you sent that out there, I honestly reckon you would get less than a 20% booking rate. 20% of people would actually book. 80% of people would still not book on this, even if they saw it, just simply because of how offers work and how people actually respond to things. If you have a very, very good offer, you're still not going to get, every single person responding to it. And so in that same understanding, you need to have a really good offer just to have, 5% of people that respond to you. And a lot of people that don't even have an offer tied to their email copy, they're basically getting a 0% response rate. And so point number 5 is to show your personality. Every single email copy that I get is so bland, it's so boring, it's not funny anymore. It's all just kind of like, a bit stale, and the difference between the email copies is you can't really tell them. Maybe you can add in like emojis and stuff like that, but that's not really showing your personality. I'll show you exactly how I would add personality into some of the emails that I receive, and I've basically changed them to improve them. But if you just be yourself, if you just introduce yourself in a funny way, maybe you can play off the fact that you do a certain thing in your business, or they do a certain thing in their business, and you can make a joke about it. If you do that, that's going to put you on a level that is 99% of people that send emails aren't actually going to be on that level, and it just adds another layer to your email copy that most people won't ever get to. And then point number 6 is to space out your lines and keep the sentences super short. You can see, and you'll see how I've done it in the email copy in just a second, but you can see here, this is super easy to read. If I put this in all one big block of text, or God forbid one big line, it would look completely terrible. No one would want to read it. You just instantly see this wall of text and you think, I'm not going to read that. But if you separate things out, you can make your emails actually quite long, and people will still read to the bottom because it doesn't feel like a big task. There's no resistance when someone initially sees that first email. They just see, line after line, sentence after sentence, and it's not a major issue. And then point 7 is to don't just tell, give proof. Don't say, we do this, we do that, we're very good at this, we're very good at that. Give specific examples. Talk about people in the industry. Talk about people they're probably familiar with. Talk about some testimonials that you've had. Send a screenshot of those testimonials. Refer them to your website that's got videos on there and testimonials and all that kind of stuff. If you just say to them, this is what we do, with no proof, people either won't believe you, or 2, they just won't care enough for them to actually go and take some effort and respond to you and actually be convinced that this is the right thing for them. And then lastly, I always recommend giving a relaxed call to action, right? Not going in straight away and saying, hey, let's have a call tomorrow, Tuesday, 5 p.m. Let's be there. Here's a link to the Zoom call, right? That's probably too much, especially on a first email. Simply just put in, looking forward to hearing back from you. Would love to work with you. Just let me know your thoughts, something like that. If the email copy is actually good enough, you don't need a crazy call to action actually to get someone to respond. And a lot of client campaigns that we've done before, we've had many call to actions where it's literally just, send me a quick message if you want some more information, and I'll send that information over to you. And then people ask you for the information, and then you basically just give them a more advanced call to action, right? I'd love to explain more details. Let's jump on a call, rather than the first one just being straight away, let's go in on a call. Really looking forward to talking with you Thursday, 5 p.m. Let's do that. It doesn't really work too much, and it's kind of too full on. People want to know a bit more oftentimes, and maybe they ask a few questions. If they want to book a call straight away, they will tell you that, and you just obviously send them a link after. But yeah, I wouldn't go too crazy on the first one. And so I have a few cold emails here that was sent to me, and first of all, you'll notice a couple of things with this one initially. Okay, so I didn't actually improve this one, firstly because if I was going to improve this one, I would literally change everything. And this is not to bash the person, I've kind of hidden who it is, so they probably will never see this. It's kind of a given why the cold email is actually in spam straight away, mostly because the vast majority of people that would see this were probably reported as spam because it isn't very good. But firstly, the first place that we would start is the subject line. So I don't know if this is an error on their part. Sometimes if you put the business name in on your, on your spreadsheet while you're doing your lead generation, maybe they added some sort of punctuation here. Leads for hyphen BTJ Labs, right? Which is obviously name my company. I'm not sure why this would be in there. Why would they not, ask a question, or, there is personalization in there, but it doesn't make a whole lot of sense straight away, especially with that punctuation. And as well, they're telling me exactly what they're selling in the subject line, which is a big red flag. You would never, ever do this. If you're giving away leads, for example, the classic one is always, quick question for this, right? And the question is, would you be interested in learning more? Okay. Subject lines that you can do as well as, sorry in advance, or just running this by you, or thoughts on this, or checking in with you now. Different things like that actually sparks interest and gets someone to click on this. The only reason that I clicked on this because I was looking for cold emails to review for this video, and I would never in a million years click on that. Of course, it landed in the spam anyway, so I wouldn't even see it, but I would never click on that simply because I know what it is. Most people that see that are probably going to just, mark it straight as spam. If it does land in their inbox, they're probably just going to delete it straight away. But going into the actual cold email itself. So, first line straight away. Hi Ben, would you be interested in acquiring B2B key decision makers' direct business email addresses globally for your lead generation campaigns and other product promotion activities? First of all, super long sentence, doesn't really make a whole great deal of sense, and it's kind of straight to the point. There's some random capitalizations in here which makes it seem a bit unprofessional, but the major thing that's missing here is they've just gone straight in and been like, would you be interested in exactly what we're selling? 99% of people are going to say no, probably more than that. They're talking about themselves straight away. Obviously, they're asking me if I would be interested in this, but it's very clear that, once we get past the would you be, it is all just about them, and it's exactly the service that they offer. And then they just go through a list of industries, which is a crazy long list, and then a list of titles, which is all basically the same thing. Obviously the difference between a CFO and a COO is different, but it's all decision makers: owner, founder, MD, VP, MP, GM, GD, CEO. It's basically all the same position, right? And then we've got admin, director, like it's just the whole. I can't even explain, and I'm hoping that this comes across and people understand like how poor this is of an email. There's so many different things in here that have been listed that just don't need to be included. You don't need to give a list of titles. There should almost be a bit of a given. You don't need to give a list of industries, because they should know which industry the prospect is actually in. So for example, if they're reaching out to me, they should know that we're in the marketing industry. We deal with agency owners and marketing agencies and different service-based businesses. So there's no point in them asking me about logistics, freight, or big brands, or wholesalers and all that kind of stuff, because obviously we're not going to be interested in that. And just a little bit of research would actually help them to know that. They've also included the regions as well. If you're interested, please let me know the region, industry, and job title you're looking for, so that I may provide you with further information about counts and other facts. Okay, so absolutely nothing about me, myself. The personalization is just my name and that's it. So there's really no personalization at all. And so if we go back to the 8 points, subject's not really done. They haven't talked about the prospect. No form of heavy personalization at all. The offer, there isn't an offer, so it's definitely no-brainer offer. No personality at all. The lines are pretty spaced out, but a couple of these are really long, and because I've actually zoomed in, it makes it look shorter, but it's actually quite difficult to read if you're reading this on mobile, for example. They haven't given any proof at all. They haven't even suggested that they've done this before. And the call to action is, the call to action is not even a call to action as such. It's just to let me know that it's asking me to do the work for them so that they can give the information that I should originally be getting. So is a cold email, this gets like a solid 1 out of 10. Be surprised if one person responded to this positively, to be completely honest with you. Okay, next email. So I've actually created, so going on to the second email now, I've actually rewritten the email, which I'll go through in just a second, just adding my own spin on things and adding the 8 points in there as well, just to make that email better. And so you can see the kind of difference. This is straight away, you can see, first of all, it's in spam, and it says lots of messages from the domain that it was sent were identified as spam in the past. So people that are receiving this email are marking it as spam. That's why it's in spam. Typically means the cold email is pretty bad, and there's very, very low levels of personalization in there. So the subject straight away is a guaranteed pay on results, ? Now, imagine that the person that is writing this, English isn't their first language, simply because that doesn't make much sense. A guaranteed pay on results. I understand what they mean, they're offering a guaranteed, result, which is paid on results, but still it really doesn't make a lot of sense, and most people will just straight away know that it's a spam email. That's probably why most people are marking it as spam. But anyway, let's dive into this. So no personalization in the subject just yet. Hi Ben, found a marketing agency, promises results or you don't pay. Pretty cool, right? Okay, so you could use a sentence like that if it was kind of like in an informal conversation, found a marketing agency that promises results so you don't pay, but you wouldn't have that as a first line. You definitely wouldn't have that is the first line of a cold email when you should really be talking about the prospect, as we were saying. Super quick question. Ever feel like there's a secret formula that's allowing your competitors to rocket past you? There is, and it's simpler than you think. So most people won't be thinking that. I don't know too many people that will think there's some kind of secret formula, and especially when someone tells you there is a secret formula, that just instantly makes you think, get rich quick scheme, probably some kind of scam. Just seems very unrealistic. And so to open the email with that, I don't think anyone's going to read beyond this, but we will do anyway just for the sake of the video. So we've got a lock emoji here, unlock BTJ Labs' own secret weapon. So small bit of personalization in there. It's not about working harder, it's about working smarter. This is the secret successful UK entrepreneurs guard fiercely. Okay. Again, it doesn't really make a lot of sense. It should be the secret that successful UK entrepreneurs guard fiercely, but why should they have all the fun? I don't really have to go into this in too much detail to actually tell you about why this doesn't actually work and why this doesn't make a lot of sense. Firstly, because it doesn't make, the grammar's not great at all. Secondly, as well, it's just kind of going on these weird tangents and it's looking for this very specific concern that someone has. Not many people are concerned that UK entrepreneurs are guarding a successful secret and they're having all the fun, right? But what we do actually get onto in the 1, 2, 3, fourth, fifth, sixth line of this email is we get onto the actual service as well. So our VAs aren't just assistants, they're your secret weapon. And so this change up here of like, are you looking for, the secret successful thing that entrepreneurs are hiding? Are you concerned that your competition is rocketing past you? And then moving on to our VAs, this is the first time they've been mentioned, rather than saying we do this, our VAs are like this. Right? It doesn't really make sense. You're going from one topic to another. Yeah, and it just seems like maybe this was edited at some point by the person that was writing it and they haven't actually done it in one coherent session. And so there's like pieces of copy that have been added in here, and it doesn't really give you that vibe that this is just, one solid piece of copy and you can actually just keep reading and it makes one coherent sense, right? With an average of 15 years of UK-centric experience, they can preload it with skills to boost your success. We're selected by who gets our secret weapon. If you're a perfect match, it's because you deserve the best. Okay. So this kind of generic sort of you deserve the best if you're a perfect fit, you can tell that it's not personalized. I reckon a few thousand people have received this email, if not more. And so that when they give you some kind of compliment like that, if it's because you deserve the best, it is just completely so. It's just the opposite of genuine. And then they go on to a few features, limitless support, here's your chance to level the playing field. Our focus are almost gone, so a bit of urgency in there, which is okay, but obviously I don't think too many people are believing that, especially if it's saying lots of messages that have been identified as a spam. I don't think too many people are queuing up for this service. Don't let your competition hoard all the secret weapons. Secure competitors. You've got a decision to make, Ben. Stay in the dark or unlock the secret that could change the trajectory of your business forever. If you're remotely interested in hearing more, reply over quick, let's chat. Okay, so call to action, again, not great. Asking them to do a very specific thing rather than just saying, looking forward to hearing from you, something like that. I haven't mentioned a call, which is cool, so it's not too pushy. But then when it comes to this, you've got a decision to make, Ben. Change the trajectory of your business forever. I mean, I know they're going for like this binary option here, like, either work with us or be left in the dark, but there definitely is multiple options here, as most people would be known. So yeah, all round, this is a solid 2 or 3 out of 10. I don't think this is going to get many responses at all. And so what I've actually done is I have changed this email. So let's just go through this. So what you might instantly be able to see here is that I've added a lot of personality, attempted to add a lot of personality and a lot of personalization in here. And so initially, we want to talk about the prospect, right? But we also want to make some kind of introduction, whether it's personality or, something that says that they know a little bit about us. Okay. And so I'm pretending to be John and I'm going to email myself, right? And so, hi Ben, it's John here, a tea drinking Brit here, just like yourself. So straight away, some kind of personality in here, which basically says who I am. I'm creating some kind of, comedic stereotype here by saying, tea drinking Brit, just like yourself. But just like yourself proves that there's a little bit of research that's done. I know that this person is from the UK, right? And you can do this for any country. For example, if you're reaching out to an American, you could make a very, light-hearted joke about, for example, the fact that the Brits, were basically booted out of America, and America, went as its own country. Or if you're a Canadian, for example, you can make a joke between the two rivalries of those countries, or just anything like that. That just says that that this person is someone else, and where they're located. And it's just a small bit of research, and you're also giving yourself a tiny bit of personality in there. And so, next line, can I just say, I found your email copy YouTube video really informative. So this is myself giving myself a compliment. There's just one thing that you could attach yourself onto, whether it's a social media post, whether it's a YouTube video, whether it's anything that you see your prospect has done. Just talk about it and talk about how it's actually helped you. Obviously, be sincere. Don't just tell them that it's helped you if it actually hasn't helped you. And just basically show them that they've created some kind of value. And that will instantly let the prospect know that you are actually, understanding about their business. You know a little bit about them. You're not just blindly emailing everyone, and that's going to get you way higher up the list in terms of the amount of responses and replies you're getting. Next line, I'm learning how to write code emails for myself, so it was incredibly helpful. Again, adding on to this value. Anyway, cutting to the chase. So this is just sort of a bit of a breakthrough, a bit of a break in the actual copywriting. Instead of just going straight in, we have this virtual assistant service. This is what we do. We're putting in a bit of personalization there, and saying, anyway, cutting to the chase. After watching some of your YouTube videos, I realized you're a potential fit for our VA service. So you'll notice what I've done here as well. I've moved from perfect fit in here, where they mentioned, if you're a perfect match, to a potential fit. And there's a lot more confidence here, if you are a perfect match. That could be virtually anyone, right? And this, when we're going, I realize that you're a potential fit. So now I know that you are a potential fit, right? Not if you're a perfect match. Now I know that you actually are a potential fit. So what I'm saying is you're definitely not a fit, right? There's people out there that are just absolutely not a fit, would never work for our service, but I know that you potentially have a fit for our service. Whereas the other one is like, we are going to find out. If you respond to us, we'll find out if you're a perfect match for our system, right? But this is a different way of angling it. Small change, but it makes a big difference. And so VA services, I'm sure lots of people get cold emails about VA services, right? And so I put in here, now I know you might think that you've seen this all before, and 99% of the time you'd be right. So sort of validating that concern. This is something that I would definitely have a concern with. I know a lot of people talk about the fact that everyone sells VA services and it's quite a common service to sell. But we individually train and hire our VAs right here in the UK, meaning you get all the benefits of a local team while still paying your usual VA prices. And so they mentioned in here, right, 15 years of UK-centric experience, okay? Now we're basically adding that in there, but now we're also saying some kind of benefit, right? So we're not just talking about, the UK, the VAs are from the UK, and that's that. We're saying why this is important, so you get the benefits of a local team. You could even go into more details here and say, they natively speak English, or they've worked in UK companies before, so they know how the culture is, and then giving an extra benefit of while still paying your usual VA prices. So you're getting an increase in the actual quality of the VAs you're getting, but you're not actually paying that much more. And then this is where the heavy personalization comes in. So what I would do in here is I would just make a very quick Loom video, just being like, hey, I'm John, this is what we do. Basically just stating your email again. But what it is here is we're saying, just to show you we're serious about what we offer, I made a quick Loom to introduce myself to you, right? And so at this point, there's no way this person thinks it's anything other than personalized. It definitely has to be personalized because you've made that Loom. The best part of the service is you won't pay us until after you have a team of VAs you're satisfied with. No-brainer offer, added that in there. With limited support and changes, our clients receive a team that they are happy with within just 10 days of starting on average. So some kind of review in there, some kind of testimonial. You could definitely add in more of this. This is not the perfect email at all. But we're going in here, we're giving them a no-brainer offer. And then we're also going and actually, giving them more benefits, more features, and we're giving them a specific time frame that they can actually expect with a kind of, it's kind of a review and kind of a testimonial. On average, our clients get this within this amount of time. And then we go to the call to action. I'd be really happy to get the chance to work with you and expand the team at BTJ Labs. Can't wait to hear back from you. So there's nothing, nothing here that's like, let's jump on a call, let's do this, let's do that. First email, super informal. And this is a kind of email that would probably get, I would honestly say, about 10 times more responses than this one here, at least in my experience anyway. Now going on to the third email. This one here, subject line, hi Ben, doesn't really have, it's a small bit of personalization, but it doesn't really draw people in. I probably would never click on an email that says hi Ben if I didn't know who the email was, but of course it is in spam, so I wouldn't even have the chance to do that anyway. And there's a bit of a theme here. The ones that are no good are always in the spam. The cold emails that are good are usually landing in my inbox rather than actually landing in the spam. And so this one starts off, hey Ben, we offer an SMS automation solution designed to deliver B2B leads directly to you. So again, we're talking about features of the service here. We're not actually talking about any benefits. And absolute first thing we need to do is talk about the prospect, add some kind of personalization in there, maybe a bit of personality. And then again, they go into more features. Additionally, we provide the necessary data, including phone numbers. Cool offer in here. I'll cover your first campaign, which often yields a couple of leads. I would definitely reword this in a different way. We actually have reworded it in a different way, which I'll show you in just a second. Just let me know what industry you want to target and I can get the data together. Then we can create a pitch and send out your message. You'll definitely get replies. So, a nice bit of confidence in here, a clear sort of step-by-step, this is what we're going to do. Just let me know the industry and we can give you this kind of free trial. But if they know anything about the prospect, they should know what industry it is. And so I'll show you what we've done in the next one in just a second. But there's no reason why that I should be responding to this person and saying my industry, because if they just visit my website, which is basically the domain of this email that they sent to, then they will instantly know what industry we work in and who we work with. So, it's just that tiny bit of effort. And obviously this is an automated email, so they're not actually looking to put that effort in. But if they are, then they're going to get responses through the roof compared to what they're getting right now. As I've noted, there's no charge for the initial trial, and it often provides a couple inquiries. So again, this is the same thing. They're worded differently, so there's no... you can obviously repeat it, but you can basically, just to make sure that you're aware, there's absolutely no charge for this, but we don't need to say a couple of queries again. Should you decide to proceed, the service costs £199 plus VAT monthly for limitless SMS campaigns and lead acquisition. I would never, ever mention the price of our services in the email. This is just kind of like a huge red flag. People should know the price on the sales call. And I know it's small ticket and stuff like that, and I may be saying that it's like super cheap, but there's a lot of people that will be emailing that might say that's quite a lot, too much as a price. They want a smaller price, and so I would never do that. Be available for a quick 5-minute chat later. So again, Call to action, it's okay. It's not the worst thing in the world, but it's, again, a little bit too pushy. Straight away, let's jump on a call, rather than, I'd love to hear your thoughts on this, or, let's hear back soon, or I can't wait to hear back from you soon, right? Something like that. So what I've done over here is I have made a quick change to this. So again, the first thing we're doing here is we're straight away talking about something that is very specific to the prospect. So I stumbled across your LinkedIn post about lead generation, and I couldn't agree more. Just like you said, the quality of your leads is almost directly related to how hard they are to find. Okay, so now what we've done here is we found a post by the prospect, we've talked about it, and we've realized, or we've found a post that is actually specific to the service that we are selling. So we can make a point about this, I completely agree with you. This makes a lot of sense. I've had great value in this. That's why I think your business is a perfect fit for a service that we've been developing for the last 2 years now. And this is just a great way to actually transition from doing some level of personalization into actually going and offering the service and selling your service to the person. And so, in fact, I've gone ahead and created the first piece of copy that we could use to generate these leads for you. You can find it linked here. So basically, this is the same copy, this is going one step further and basically saying to you, like, what kind of industry are you in? We're using some copy that's going to be specific to that person. We're going to mention the industry in there. It's going to be, way, way more personalized than the other one. And so they can literally just see that. You can actually see how good the work is. And obviously, if your work is good, then most people will enjoy that, and they will actually, be pleasantly surprised by the value that you're adding. We're even ready to launch that first mini campaign for you completely free of charge, just to show you what we can do for BTJ Labs. And so again, improving the offer slightly. So instead of just saying this, like, we can do this for free for you, just let me know. We're like, look, we're ready to launch. Just give me a thumbs up and we can do that, no problem. It's the same exact thing, but we've gone that one step further and we've given them some copy and shown them what we can do. We know that you work with marketing agents across the world, so again, telling them about their industry. So that's what we set the campaign to. But let me know if you'd like to change it. So obviously, just telling them this is what we do, but just let me know. Additionally, we provide all the necessary information, including phone numbers, email addresses, and decision makers' names. So this is the point that they were making around here somewhere about including phone numbers and stuff like that. And obviously, you can see this one here about including phone numbers and the necessary data is much, much higher, much sooner in the email in the original one that we got than the one that we changed. And so this information is not super necessary. We're going to talk about the offer first. We're going to add the personalization in there. We're going to show them that we put a bit of effort in and we've done a bit of work first. That's the kind of the heavy personalization in here. Then we can start to talk about the features and just add a few extra bits in there if we want to get a few more lines in. Just drop me a quick reply and I'll get that live for you. Looking forward to hearing from you, right? And so you can see the difference here. Are you able for a quick 5-minute chat later to actually get that? But this person, or the extra one that we've created here, is literally just drop me a quick reply and I'll get that live for you. No problem. We've done the campaign. We know where you work. We know what industries you do. Just literally send me a message and we'll get that live for you. We'll get those leads coming in. And so you can see the kind of difference between these two emails. One of them, like this one, is a lot better offer, but it's very, very similar to this. And it just takes a bit more effort. And that's it. And so, if you are going to generate 5, 6, 7 times the results by adding that little bit of extra effort in, it's a complete no-brainer. If you're sending 100 emails right now that are not personalized, maybe you're getting a 1% response rate. But then if you go and send, 25 emails that are all personalized, that all have this heavy personalization in, and the copy's actually good and it makes sense, and you put that tiny bit of effort in, and you go, like I said, like 5, 6, 7 times, you get 7%. 7% of 25 is way higher than 1% of 100. So it doesn't really matter how many emails that you send at this point. Of course, have to do some kind of volume. But if you drastically decrease your volume by increasing the quality and actually putting a bit of effort into your copy and, making those changes, the results you're going to see is going to be night and day. By the way, if you are looking for someone to generate appointments for you on a completely done-for-you basis, then go ahead and click the first link in the description. Don't worry, we're not going to ask for your phone number or email or anything like that. It's literally just a video of me explaining how my company does this. You don't have to check it out, of course, if you want to watch the videos, and that's completely fine. So like the video if you did like the video, and comment if you want me to cover anything specifically, and subscribe if you want to see more. Appreciate you watching this one to the end. Cheers.